My soul is resting. It's such a blessing. Praise the Lord. Hallelujah. I'm free.
At this time, I am going to be reading the obituary. Soke Adam Battle and his identical twin Alan were born on December 16, 1948, to Theodore and Mabel Battle. Soke Battle was known not only for his dedication to his family and martial arts, but also for his generosity and kindness to those around him. He was a mentor to many, often taking time to guide and encourage young people in his community, instilling in them the value of discipline, respect, and perseverance. His presence left a lasting impact, and his legacy continues to inspire all who had the privilege of knowing him. Soke Battle was raised in Brooklyn, New York, first in Cypress Hill Projects, and later in the home of his parents on Rockaway Parkway. Growing up in a vibrant and diverse neighborhood, Soke Battle was influenced by rich cultural tapestry of Brooklyn. He attended local schools where he developed a keen sense of community involvement that would follow him throughout his life. From an early age, he demonstrated a natural curiosity that would later define his approach to both martial arts and mentorship. Soke Battle was educated in New York City and began his career as a groundskeeper for the Housing Authority in 1965. In 1970, he joined the Metropolitan Transit System as a trackman, shortly before being drafted into the United States Army, where he served 2 years and received an honorable discharge. After, he returned to the MTA and eventually retiring. Soke Battle joined the security staff at the Christian Cultural Center, serving on the personal security staff of Pastor A.R. Bernard. Soke Battle dedicated his life to the study and advancement of the martial arts. He commenced his martial arts journey in the 1960s under the guidance of Dr. Moses Powell, the founder of the Sanukus Rule system of Jiu-Jitsu. In 1998, Soke Battle obtained the rank of Hachidan, 8th degree black belt in Sanukus Rule, awarded by Dr. Powell. His expertise expanded through training and additional disciplines such as the Northern style praying mantis Kung Fu with Sifu Michael Whitestone and Akito and Sensei Lukman Abdul Hakim. Under Dr. Powell's mentorship, Soke Battle embraced the philosophy that martial arts encompasses more than just technical proficiency. It is a comprehensive way of life. After more than 20 years of dedicated study, Soke Battle established the GyeNayame Rule system of Jiu-Jitsu, meaning School of the Omnipotent and Immortal God, in the 1980s. The primary objective of GyeNayame Rule training is to equip students with the skills and knowledge required to succeed both on the mat and in all aspects of life. From self-defense scenarios to professional environments, Soke Battle's unwavering commitment and instructional expertise and mastery as the practitioner have resulted in an induction into prestigious organizations, including the Christian Black Belt Hall of Fame, the Action Magazine Black Belt Hall of Fame, the Kuroshi Do Hall of Fame, and the Soke John Davis Black Belt Hall of Fame. Soke Battle's commitment to the martial arts are formally acknowledged by the Soke Council, an assembly of grandmasters who have each established their own martial arts system in 2008. He was officially promoted to Jodan, 10th degree black belt, and granted the title of Soke, Grandmaster of the GyeNayame rule system of Jiu-Jitsu. Soke Battle fulfilled his lifelong aspirations of land ownership in 2018. Following his retirement from the Christian Cultural Center, he relocated to Florida and constructed a home near his parents' residence. Throughout his life, Soke Battle faced numerous health challenges, responding to each with remarkable discipline and determination instilled through years of training. These health issues intensified during his time in Florida, resulting in multiple hospital stays. Despite this, Soke Battle remained dedicated to his martial arts studies and continued to teach and to learn alongside Master Russell Wilder at the Tallahassee Integrated Martial Arts Dojo. On July 17th, during his final hospitalization, Soke Battle passed away peacefully, surrounded by his brothers Alan and Thomas, his sister-in-law Alfreda, and his niece Joanne. Soke Lee Battle was preceded by his parents, Theodore and Mabel, as well as his sister Thea. He is survived by his twin brother Alan, brothers Thomas, Ray, Rodney, and Darren, sisters Wanda, Cher, sister-in-law Joan and Alfreda, and many nieces and nephews and great nieces and nephews, friends, and his beloved cat Boots, and his extensive martial arts family who mourn his loss. Amen. At this time, we're going to have reflections, and we would ask if you have a reflection that you would limit it to 2 to 3 minutes. And so if you would like to have a reflection on Soke Battle, you can come at this time.
Good morning. I had the pleasure of serving as the dojo secretary for a number of years. My daughter was probably about 5 when we joined, so I also had the pleasure of watching her and a lot of the other children grow up. She's now 22. I remember one day there was a conversation between Soke Battle and Sensei West. Now, we all know Soke had a very raspy voice, and Sensei West had a very heavy Caribbean accent. And I was sitting in the office between the two of them, and they're having a conversation, and neither one of them understood the other. And I felt like the translator, and I remember saying to Sensei getting it later, I felt like I was in a room with Bob Marley and James Brown. Soke was tough on me. Super tough. I think all of my senseis were. I was the only woman in the dojo for a very long time. I separated my shoulder, tore a meniscus. They couldn't care less. I had to be there, even sitting in a sling. I needed to be sitting there paying attention because I was always learning. He taught me so much. Even if you just sat around him and listened, and he would ramble, and if you didn't know it, you would think he really didn't have anything important to say, but there was a lot of wisdom in every single sentence. So I am so blessed and honored to have the pleasure of not just serving and training with him, but also with him being like a big brother and a really, really good friend. My condolences to the family. He will absolutely be missed.
I'm sorry. Good morning. My name is Raymond Weston, and I've had the privilege of being a student of Soke Adam Battle for almost 50 years. I know I don't look that old, do I? During this period, he taught me a tremendous amount about the martial art. Equally important, Soke Battle showed me that the physical, mental, and spiritual disciplines necessary for a martial art practitioner to be successful were necessary for success off the mat as well. Most impressively, Soke Battle showed me the latter, not by his words, but by the way he lived his life. In his younger days, Soke Battle was a remarkable physical specimen. He continually emphasized to his students the importance of being physically strong, the necessity of being able to withstand pain, and the ability to inflict pain when necessary. His teaching, his techniques were grounded in power, with one of his favorite sayings being, "A block is a strike." He brought these concepts to life through rigorous exercise regimens that he both led and participated in with great enthusiasm. Even in his latter days, as he faced multiple illnesses, Soke Battle drew upon the strength he had built over a lifetime. This reservoir of physical resilience enabled him to travel 2 to 3 hours each way, several times a week, to attend his various treatment appointments. Soke Battle taught that physical strength alone was not sufficient for a martial artist. He often said that the true fight did not begin until exhaustion set in, and that one's mind had to be stronger than the body. The exercises he assigned demanded not just strength, but also endurance. When we became fatigued, he encouraged us to persevere, urging us to visualize ourselves successfully completing the exercise. When we reached our limit, he reminded us that self-mastery must come before victory over an opponent. In his later days, even as illness took its toll on his body, he continued to fight, resting when needed, but always returning to battle the next day. Soke Battle was a deeply spiritual man. On the mat, he stressed the importance of believing in something greater than oneself. He demonstrated generosity by accepting students who could not afford to pay, because he believed everyone deserved the opportunity to train. He continued to work with students who struggled with even the most basic techniques, confident that dedication and practice would lead to improvement. Off the mat, he was an active member of his church and attended services regularly. In his teaching, he embodied the virtues of faith, hope, and charity, treating his students with kindness and patience. Soke Adam Battle was not only a gifted martial artist, he was an even better person. Through his action, he showed that the martial art is much more than learning how to fight. It is a way of life. The values he lived by and taught have left a lasting impression on us. I will always be grateful to Soke Battle. Excuse me. With all other dying families dead, cut us so proud.
I too have a thought about Soke Battle. He taught me how to fall well. I mean, because it took a little while to know how to slap out. And so I had a lot of aches and pains before I really learned how to slap out. And when you, I mean, when he says, you know, come at me, when he says attack, you know you're going to be on the mat. You know, so I didn't take great pleasure in, like, when he was like, oh, come on the mat. I knew I was going to be on the mat, a part of the mat, all the time. But he was a great instructor, practical teacher, a man full of wisdom, and I appreciated and still appreciate all the things that he taught me. Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. I just have to say, I mean, I am Soke Battle's niece, Felicia, and my uncle was a force to be reckoned with. He was amazing. He was very generous to everyone. The jewel that we have lost in our family is overwhelming to us. My fondest memories of my uncle, because I lived with my uncle for a couple of years. And my uncle, I don't even know if he knew he was funny without being funny. But the jokes that he would tell, you kind of looked at him and he would be cracking up. And my uncle had such an infectious laugh that it just made you laugh. And you look at him like, what are you talking about, you know? And he loved the Whispers and he loved the Temptations. And my uncle would always go to these shows and he would always take me with him. And I love old school R&B. And I never, to this day, I still listen to the Temptations. I listen to it so much that I could have sworn I heard the Temptations say, hey man, cut this off already. But me and his favorite song was Treat Her Like a Lady. And when I tell you, I keep that on repeat in my car because it makes me feel so close to him. And I just want all of you guys to listen to that song. And when you listen to that song, just think of him and smile. Because I think about him all the time, every time I listen to that song. And I am going to miss my uncle greatly. And then I have his twin here. And every time I look at him and I talk to him and he doesn't notice, I get emotional when I get off the phone with him because it's him again for me. Uncle Butchie, I love you, and thank you. Thank you, everyone.
My condolences to the family. Wow. Me and Soke used to work at the church together doing security, and he said, Kev, come down to the dojo, come down to the dojo. I go down to the dojo, I join and whatnot. So I started my training, you know, with GyeNayame Rue, and then, you know, at my first promotion, my children saw me getting thrown around, and so they decided to join. You know, so, you know, so they would, you know, I had to bring them on Saturdays. That was the children's class. So I'm out. I reached the rank of brown belt, and I'm in the parking lot. That was my day to wax my car. I just go, you know, they in class. I take that hour and a half to do my car. He comes outside. Jackson, how you doing? It's okay. He said, you got your gi? I said, yeah. I said, oh, man, I think I'm in trouble. He said, I want you to teach the children's class. Okay. I go in, I start teaching the children's class. Man, what a blessing. Man, so we started teaching the children. I started teaching the children's class on Saturdays. That was just my role. I just got hired on the spot. So as we progressed, other people saw, because we would teach principles, we would pray, we do different things to teach the children's class. And when they opened up Cultural Arts Academy, they wanted, a martial arts segment. So, of course, me and Sensei Chris, we went, and at that time I became a sensei. So we interviewed and we got the job. We went along with this thing for a while, and in our maybe second or third year, we took the children to a martial arts competition. Everybody in there had on white gis, and we were the only one with black gis with royal blue gear. So we going along, and I'm hearing these little rumors going around. Yo, Battle Kids are doing good. Look at Battle Kids. Man, they rolling out, they flying rollouts into the mat. We get out there, man. It turned out maybe the 5 or 6 kids that wanted to go, we ended up having to fight each other because we beat the rest of the competition. So we got first and second prize, man. It was wonderful, and I didn't know I would love it so much. Wow. But he knew, and he pulled it out. I mean, just random, seemed like to me. But he pulled it out of me, and yeah. Thank you. What a blessing.
My name is Kenyatta Solomon, and I was one of Soke Adam Battle's students. I joined what is that noise? I joined the dojo in, I'm sorry, I joined the dojo in the summer of 2009, and I just wanted to say that Soke Battle was a special man. He taught me a lot. He was a man of faith, and he was one of the greatest martial artists that I've ever trained under. He taught me a lot. He done a lot for me. And one of the things that I appreciated about him is that when I was going through financial crisis, he still allowed me to train in the class. And he was a very hard thrower. And just like Kevin said, just like Elder Shaw said, when you get on the mat, be prepared to be dropped to the ground. Because I experienced that a lot with Soke Battle. Be prepared to have your arm in a lock. But he was a very special man, and I appreciated the training that I got from him. I appreciate being trained under him. He was not the first martial artist to train me. I did do karate before, starting at 12 years old, and the training that I received from Soke Battle and Professor, now Grandmaster Raven Rustin, is very special to me. Yeah, he taught me a lot. And I really appreciate the life and the influence that he had, not just on me, but on each and every person that was mentored by him. So. I apologize if y'all couldn't hear me.
Hello. Peace to everyone. My name is Idris. I'm one of his cousins, his first cousin. Grew up probably starting as early as 1960, 61, as soon as I was old enough to travel from Bushwick to East New York. Pretty much every weekend or every other weekend I was in their home with who I knew as Pee Wee and Butch. My cousins. And you know what they say about identical cousins. There's always, one is, you know, more aggressive than the other. You know, we grew up watching wrestling, Bobo Brazil, and Butch, he would like to try out holes on me. And it was always Pee Wee who would make him stop, because Butch could be kind of aggressive. So we went through a lot of that. And many years we spent together, a lot of time. And the last time the three of us spent together was probably about 15 years ago. We got into Pee Wee's, Professor Battle's Escalade and drove down from New York to Tallahassee to see his mother, my Aunt Mabel. And that was, probably could write a book about that trip. The three of us together again as adults. That was memorial for me, a very important time. Pee Wee was special, the both of them. They just went about things a little differently. My sport of choice was basketball. And Pee Wee had his health challenges, but you'd never know it. He never allowed it to stop him or hinder him from being who he became. He was a very successful man. He's very disciplined, but he was always kind. He was always compassionate, always generous. And he bought some land in Tallahassee, and some of the last conversations I had with him, because he was down there pretty much, he lived a ways from his brother, but the space where he was pretty much alone. But he never allowed that to hinder him. When he was taking dialysis, he would drive to dialysis by himself. And anybody who knows anybody who takes dialysis, you're very weak after dialysis, but he was still training up until not long before he returned to his Lord. He loved martial arts. He loved it with a passion. And even though he never married or had biological children, he had plenty of children. And many of you are here. He had plenty of sons and daughters. And all the time I've known him, I'm 4 years younger, I don't know anything bad about Pee Wee. I never heard anything bad about him. He was that guy. He was that type of guy. I'm glad I came, and I knew he was a great martial artist, but thanks to you all, I'm really understanding how great he was. He was a direct mentor of Master Moses Power. He spent a lot of time with Master Moses Power. And I'm sure Moses Power taught him things because of the time he spent with him that he didn't teach a lot of others. And I'm just here. I live in this neighborhood. I was born in this neighborhood. In fact, when I came in, I was in this church probably in 1968. I went to Boys High. That's the last time I was in this church. We walked over from Boys High School, which is about 2 blocks from here, and we had some type of meeting here in this church. And I live on Jefferson Avenue, a little further east. And I was born on Green Avenue in the house. And I have a business in Bed-Stuy here on Fulton Street. But I was really happy to hear that this was going to be in my neighborhood, in the neighborhood. And I just wanted to say that I was glad that I was able to come and speak about my cousin, who I knew as Pee-wee. And I know when he became Professor Battle, when I would talk to him, sometimes I would hesitate whether I should call him Pee-wee or, because I knew who he was and what he had become. And so I want to thank all of you for coming out and sharing about my cousin, Pee-wee. Thank you.
Hello. Brett, can you hear me? Okay, cool. I'm not much of a public speaker, so please bear with me. My brother and I joined the dojo when he was about 7, 9 years old. Just a lot of memories. Actually in my 30s now, so. But one thing about Soke is that he loved the kids in the class. He fostered so many, a community there. So many lifelong friendships made. Great memories. The sparring, man. Man, it was like title fights over there. And he loved it, just being able to teach discipline, being able to not only fall, but to get back up, I mean, even myself, going away to school, he always kept up with me, and to ask how I was doing all the time. I even had started a martial arts club on campus. And, out of respect, before I started the club, I reached out to him to get his permission to teach. Without question, he gave his blessing and drove all the way to my school to do a demonstration. I mean, that day was amazing. They got the mats, they brought their own mats, everything, put it up in the truck, drove down. Man. For sure. But what it meant, afterwards, everyone at my school, everyone that was in that class, never forgot. It was just one day that imprinted on so many others that didn't even live in New York. That was the type of energy, that was the type of person that Soke was to all of us. And even though he's gone, we all know he's a part of us and will live on as a part of us. Sorry, I don't really do this. It's really tough. But, I mean, even just sitting in the office with him, just talking and just, you know, seeing how I was doing, the love that he had for all of the kids, and just kind of just speaking towards that, the kids' class, like, up to the adults, man. I mean, even when he would, one of the other memories would probably be that exam for the black belts exam. I'm not gonna take too long, but that exam was long. It was definitely a milestone moment. I think it was most black belts that he tested for in the school's history, and we were there forever. I think it was like 2 weeks long, for real. But to see that in his eyes when we got that approval to reach that level, he was so proud. Proud teacher, mentor, proud father to all of us. And I always carry that with me. Thank you.
Can everybody hear me? So I joined GyeNayame at, I think, maybe 8 years old. My parents could probably correct me. I'm 25 now. And some of the punches I took from Soke Battle, I can still feel them in my chest to this day. He was a man that could hit you from 3 inches away and it would feel like somebody hit you with a brick in your chest. And, you know, he founded GyeNayame. He was one of the cornerstones of GyeNayame. And the men in here that have also put various punches on me, you know, they kind of shaped me into the man that I am today, along with my family, of course, who's also here. And they were also family at the time. I spent 3 days a week there, maybe 4, and it's some of the greatest memories of my life. It was a great time. I still carry those memories, definitely those falls. Especially when I was playing football, I knew how to fall properly. And, you know, anybody that plays football, you know you're going to fall a lot. And because of those, you know, some of the techniques that I learned in GyeNayame and throughout my life, I knew how to fall. And, you know, you can physically fall, but it's also about life, you know. He taught me how to fall right. And I feel like sometimes when life knocks you down, you know, I think back to those punches. I think back to some of the discipline that he taught me, you know, standing in front of the class. You know, get into a horse stance and just hold it there. You might be there for 5 minutes and he's expecting you to just stay there. He doesn't care that you're a kid, you're in pain. You know, even when he punched you, he didn't care that you were a kid. You know, you felt those punches, you know? So, you know, he instilled that toughness in me that, you know, I feel like has shaped me into the man that I am today. And if not for him and some of the men in this room, you know, maybe I wouldn't be who I am today. So Soke Battle was instrumental in that. My condolences to the family once again, and, you know, he will be missed. I'll remember him for the rest of my life.
Let's give a hand clap for all the presenters, everybody that gave a reflection.